Welcome back, one and all. This is our Wall Street Journal weekly report here, Saturday. It is July 26th, 2025. We're going to be looking at these metals and figuring out what they did against the markets. This video, as always, is sponsored by APMEX, the American Precious Metals Exchange, where I love to buy my silver because I'm a collector and they have the best diversity of products. And this is benefit to you because guess what? This August, actually starting July 31st, they are celebrating their 25th anniversary. And that being said, they're passing along some savings to you. I posted a video yesterday about this. In fact, it's how you can win a half gold bag from me, but you need to watch that video to figure out how. But basically, yeah, go shop at APMEX. They're phenomenal. The 31st, they're going to have any quantity pricing. So if you're buying one of these, you're going to pay the same price as if you're buying 500 of these. Then they're going to have different types of discounts based on the week throughout the month of August. Fantastic stuff coming from APMEX. Hopefully I will see you there, metaphorically speaking, because I know my cart is full, and on the 31st I will be hitting the buy button as well. So that being said, that's all to come. Let's go ahead and get into the markets now to see how silver and gold did this week. We know there were some absolutely crazy and interesting news stories. One right here on the front of the paper that hasn't got a lot of coverage yet, which I find interesting. Civilians seek safety as Thailand and Cambodia clash. If you don't know anything about Southeast Asia, they've had their fair share of conflict in that area, and there were some missiles that were flying a couple of days ago between Cambodia and Thailand, which is right in the backyard of Laos and Singapore. That being said, kind of a big deal to think about that becoming a conflict zone. Hopefully resolutions come quickly, but that's basically that. As you know, silver has kind of taken a step backwards. We'll get into that in a second, but first, what did the stock market do? We like to track the three major markets here, and as you can see on these charts, they are fantastic right now. We have the Dow Jones, my favorite, at 44,901. It is up 200 points and almost there, folks. 44.9. The all-time high is literally just a handful of points away. My prediction this week, we will see an all-time high in the Dow Jones Industrial. Now, I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I'd bet on that. Each one of these is the intraday trading. As you can see, the roller coaster is rising, and so is the trend here. Very, very good times here on the Dow Jones Industrial. How about the S&P? 6,388 right there is where we sat come close, and 25 points higher right there, and we're at the 6388, which, what do you know, still at an all-time high for the S&P 500. The S&P 500 meaning the top 500 companies within the world, or our market really, within that index. What about the Nasdaq Composite? Well, the Nasdaq Composite is sitting at 21,108. We see 50-point rise, and looky there, 21,108. So the Nasdaq and the S&P sitting at all-time highs, folks. Well, what about the international markets? Well, we saw mixed bag here, some up, some down, nothing crazy or dramatic. As we look at the North American area, we see about a half a percentage point on either side of the aisle. Brazil taking a step back, everyone else in the black. And then we go to the Eurozone, which has South Africa too, which that's the only one I highlighted with South Africa because it is over a percentage on the negative side. There's a handful that are close, like the Netherlands, but that's the only one that is sitting there over 1 percentage point in the Euro mark. And then we have the Asia Pacific right there, and we have highlighted Hong Kong as it is the only one as well that is either positive or negative 1%, and this being negative 1% in Hong Kong. So very, very interesting things there. Let's go ahead and talk now about this week in silver because so many people are waiting. They cannot stand that we are not at $40 yet. I know, for example, in probably 2019, 2020, so many people were talking about how, when silver hits $40, it will be time to sell and I will have made X amount of money. Well, it's been right there for about 2 weeks and I haven't heard of giant sell-offs from my sources. I've just heard that it is going both ways. People are going into silver, people are going out of silver, but no giant dump of metals happening by all of the people who said once it hits 40, because it's probably been a slow process, and then people will then want to say, well, what about 50? What about 60? People don't like to leave money on the table. So as you can see here on the chart, silver closed the week. We're sitting at $38.42. So we took a little bit of a step back. As you can see on the 25th, there's a pretty sharp decline that happened right there at the end of day on the 25th, which was yesterday. But it still was better than where it started by 3 cents. So that's technically a win. What about against the US dollar? Well, we see the US dollar here in blue traded till the 24th, and silver, as we saw at the end of the week, took a step back, whereas the dollar kind of went in the positive direction, though it never made it quite back to the 0% mark. So I'm going to say that, including Friday, the dollar did better than silver did. That's just how I see it according to this chart. Dow Jones and S&P, looky there, both over a percentage point gain, which we like, and then silver took a tank, which we don't like, but hey, silver can't win every single week. We've got to be generous, we've got to be good sports, and understand that sometimes other people get to win too. So that being said, the markets beat out silver, and that's okay. Let's take a look now at gold. As we can see here, gold sitting $33.53 US dollars, lost about $10.60 on the week, which is about a third of a percentile. As you can see on this chart, there is a gradual decline happening from Wednesday through the week. So that being said, it is not a winner today, but let's check against the US dollar. Yep, just as we thought, gold down, US dollar flattish. So therefore, US dollar once again has won the day when it comes to that disparity. But when we look at the Dow Jones and S&P, we see they're at 1%. So therefore, who are the winners this week? It's the markets. The markets are the winners, which is probably good for most people, including myself, because compound interest beats value of my gold and silver. But hey, diversification is king from what I have heard. So that being said, that is our week in metals. I hope you enjoyed it so much, and I hope to make more of these videos in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, please stay classy and current with the culture of currency.